This is a PetStore web service developed using CakePHP. It is a web service where you can put advert for selling or giving away pets. The main component of this web service is user can register with their details. Once registered, the user can log on to the system, and once you log in, a token is generated and stored in the database. The user can add a listing for their pets. CakePHP makes it easier to write this application because a lot of the code is automatically generated from the database schema. Let me show you the schema of the application. Currently, the schema contains three tables: pet details, login session, and users. The first one is the users table that contains the user details. It is having some parameters like full name, username, password, email, phone, address, etc. The second table is the login session table. Login session table's objective is to store the session token. This is having some parameters like start time, session token, end time, etc. The third table is pet details table. The parameters are the name, species, subspecies, date of birth, weight, price, description, color, etc. Now I shall demonstrate the RESTful API. The first API that I want to show you is the registration API, where a new user registers. The input data that goes into the RESTful web service is given by the parameters. By the way, this is a tool called Postman that is used for testing such services so that we can directly execute the post request without writing a RESTful client. These are the parameters which we can change. For example, see the password ABCD. Okay, and let us see what happens when I click the send button. This shows that the registration request was successful, and the result shows the user object that was stored in the database. Now I will demonstrate the login form. Here are the parameters: username, password, and the data. So I will change the username as Carol and password as ABCD, and then this is synced. Now this is the token that we received for successful login. Think of it like a ticket that we need to show every time we make another request within that session. Next, this is a web service that we can use after we log on, because this requires a session token as input parameter. This service adds a new pet detail to the pet store. For example, say this is, the name is Fido, and let me change the subspecies. For example, the weight is say 4 kgs. This is the code generated here. Um, you can see the full listings of the pet. You can see the full listings here. 3, 4, 5, 6. There are more. The recording window is too small to show the last entry. So it's 7, and the video, this is the one that I have just input in the database using the RESTful API.